Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, with me is Shel Bhatnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Well, just about a 20-point kind of a loss for the Nifty right now. You can see it hovering around 25,365 odd levels. But the sectors that are still holding up are media, realty, PSU banks, consumer durables. They're in fine fettle. Over 1% of gains can be seen. The Nifty bank is also up by about 0.3% higher in trade. 51,948 can be seen as far as the Nifty bank is concerned. Among the top movers on the Nifty, you have WIPRO, that's doing very well within the IT pack, 3.7% higher for this stock. You have Bajaj Twins, Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance, both upwards of 2.5% each. You have IndusInd Bank, Axis Bank and Tata Steel also doing back. So it's the banking space that's definitely garnering some attention. You also have in the F&O space, some of the stocks like Oracle Financial Services, which are doing very well. You have Bandhan Bank, Piramal Enterprises and WIPRO as well again, which are doing well at this point. What is not doing well, it's the insurance names, HDFC, SBI Life, both are down in trade. You also have Adani Ports, ITC and NTPC as some of the other pockets that are actually taking back seat at this point in time right now and dipping below the flat line. What is also of importance is that India VIX is still down by about 4.9% at 12.5, but despite that we are actually seeing some resistance come in on the Nifty right now. Good afternoon, Shel.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you on Market Today at Business Today Television. What is glistening and glistening very well is the entire gold business, whether it is jewelers like Tribhuvan Das Javeri, which is TVZ, up 20%, Senco Limited, which is showing a very sharp uptick of about 7%, or gold financing companies such as Muthoot Finance and Manappuram Finance, all because in the commodity markets you see gold futures hitting a record high, and in the cash markets too in India they're above 75,000 rupees a tola. So that's a very nice weekend shopping list that probably somebody at your home should be having. The other interesting point is that today is a very restful day as far as the Nifty is concerned. After climbing 470 points in yesterday's trade to a record high, there is a bit of a profit booking and a rest which the Nifty is undergoing. So just 31 points down, 25,300 is still with the bulls. What we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, is in this kind of a market where everybody is itching to get into the market and buy whatever is in front of them, there is a set of investors who prefer to create wealth for the long term and buy into quality stocks which still haven't come on the landscape. Our guest today is an amazing gentleman, Mr. Anil Gager. He is the Managing Director of Progressive Share Brokers. Anil ji has been in the market for the last 30 years and has created immense wealth for his shareholders. Let us try and understand what research has gone into Progressive and find out some quality stocks that you can still buy into. नमस्ते अनिल जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत. आपने अपना समय निकाला और जो बहुत शानदार रिसर्च प्रोग्रेसिव स्टॉक्स एंड शेयर्स में चलती है उसको आप हमारे दर्शकों के साथ साझा कर रहे हैं. इसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत आभार. पहले एक दो प्रश्न ज़रा बाज़ार पर केंद्रित करते हैं. इतनी ज़बरदस्त रैली हम लोग देख रहे हैं. 25,300, 25,400 आपके सामने निफ्टी पर ऑलरेडी आ चुका, और अगर आप 6 महीने का परफॉर्मेंस देखें तो लगभग 15-16% तो सिर्फ इंडेक्स ही बढ़ा है. छोटे और मंझले शहरों की क्या कहिए. बताइए यहाँ से आपको बाज़ार कहाँ जाता हुआ दिखता है अगर हम सिर्फ ब्रॉडर मार्केट देखें तो. अनिल जी.
सबसे पहले शैल जी आपका नमस्कार. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर इनवाइटिंग मी ऑन योर शो. शैल जी, मार्केट डेफिनेटली अपने लाइफ टाइम हाई पर है, बट यहाँ से भी कुछ गुंजाइश है. मार्केट इज वेटिंग फॉर ए करेक्शन अक्रॉस द सेक्टर. वैल्यूएशंस आर आस्किंग फॉर ए करेक्शन, but Shell ji, long term trend is bullish. Some up and downs will always be there, but overall economy is in a comfortable zone. The macro data, whether inflation or manufacturing numbers, they are very encouraging. They're very positive. Nifty in the last, अगर अपन देखें, Nifty in the last 5 years has given a return of 17% CAGR, and we believe that the momentum would continue, although with moderate growth. Overall, Shelji, our views remains to be positive on select companies, with major focus on themes rather than sectors. We have seen a decent in liquidity inflow. Last month only we saw, in the month of August, we saw a SIP of around 30,000 crores coming to market. There is a big force of liquidity coming to the market from mutual funds, PMS firms, AIF extra, etc. Downside to the market looks limited, but every dip is a chance to buy quality stocks. We are bullish on long-term investors. Every correction should be taken as an opportunity to buy quality stocks only. We need to believe and focus on quality rather than only momentum. Volatility is here to stay. वो रहेगी और वो हमको दिमाग में रखना है कि वो रहेगी, ऊपर नीचे होता रहेगा. But we are cautiously optimistic in the current juncture.
Anil ji, warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for your time, sir, on Business Today Television. I want to first begin by understanding, sir, जिस तरीके से रेट कट्स की अब उम्मीदें बढ़ रही हैं, उसको देखते हुए मैं आपसे जानना चाह रही थी. पहले तो ECB ने रेट घटाया और अब उम्मीदें हैं 17 सितंबर को जब US फेड भी मिलेगा, उम्मीदें इस तरीके से हैं कि शायद 25 बेसिस पॉइंट्स तो रेट कट अगर होगा ही होगा. क्या आपको भी लगता है कि इस बार US फेड रेट घटाएगा? अगर ऐसा होता है तो उसका इम्पैक्ट इंडियन मार्केट्स पर क्या पड़ेगा?
देखो, आपको नमस्कार. मुझे लगता है पॉलिसी मेकर्स एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं रेट कट सून आना चाहिए, बट क्या एक्सटेंट पर आना चाहिए वो थोड़ा अनक्लियर है अभी. बट 25 पैसा 50 पैसा बिप्स इज मार्केट टॉकिंग इन द मार्केट. बट मेरे हिसाब से 25 bips would be more digestive now after US CPI numbers coming to unexpected lines. Straight 50 bips might send a message of urgency. Now my question is whether what will happen if rate cut comes to India next year. This will be a really big booster to economy and to a large number of companies. We are looking at great wealth creation in India. There is still a lot of steam left in the Indian capital market. Overall ध्यान अच्छा ही है.
जी अनिल जी, अब ऐसा करते हैं, बात करते हैं उन चीज़ों पर जो जिन पर आपकी पकड़ बहुत मजबूत है, और वो ये है कि इस दौरान जहाँ पर इतनी ज़बरदस्त तेज़ी दिख रही है, वहाँ पर अच्छी अवधि में, मान लीजिए 1 आध साल 2-1 साल, अगर लोग शेयर खरीद के रखें, तो आपको क्या लगता है कहाँ पर अच्छी वैल्यू है? केमिकल स्पेस में हम लोग देख रहे हैं पिछले 3-1 हफ्ते से अच्छा मोमेंटम आया हुआ है. 2 साल बहुत दिक्कत के निकले. कुछ ऐसा आपको केमिकल सेक्टर में पसंद आता हो जहाँ पर अभी भी निवेशक घुस सकते हैं और शायद 1 आध 2 साल में अच्छे पैसे बने? सर
चल जी, कोई स्टॉक बोलने के पहले, किसी स्टॉक को रिकमेंड करने के पहले, आई वुड लाइक टू गिव अ स्टैंडर्ड डिस्क्लोजर दैट आवर क्लाइंट्स, रिलेटिव्स, फ्रेंड्स, सबऑर्डिनेट्स are or could be holding the stocks which I going to mention ahead. तो जैसे आपने केमिकल सेक्टर की बात की, तो सबसे पहले हमको इस सेक्टर में भारत रसायन लिमिटेड कंपनी बहुत पसंद है. वो स्पेशलिटी केमिकल फील्ड में है. कंपनी इज अ स्ट्रॉन्ग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्लेयर. कंपनी हैज ए स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड कंजर्वेटिव मैनेजमेंट. Profit and loss of the company was under stress due to Chinese dumping. Now the worst seems to be over. This is very positive for the company. Gradually volumes have started picking up, which is beneficial to the company. Company has good profitable product mix. Company has strong manufacturing capacity. Some molecules are very niche and can fetch more than 25% margins to the company. Company has strong international footprint with over 210 products registered with it. Good expansion plans are underway. In 2020, Bharat Rasayan established a joint venture named Nishan Bharat Rasayan with Nishan Chemicals of Japan with a total investment of 4.4 billion rupees, in which Bharat Rasayan holds 30% stake. The future looks brighter and stronger for the company. We are anticipating good growth in the company over next 3 to 5 years, has potential to double in future from the current levels.
Okay, Anil ji, another space that has garnered attention of late is the textile space. पिछले 2 महीने में यहाँ पर काफ़ी हमने ट्रैक्शन देखा है और बहुत सारे स्टॉक्स ने यहाँ पर तेज़ी भी दिखाई है. इस तेज़ी के बावजूद क्या आपको लगता है कि कोई ऐसा स्टॉक है इस सेक्टर में जो कि अंडर वैल्यूड है अभी भी?
टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. इस सेक्टर में हमको एक कंपनी जो बहुत हम लाइक करते हैं, दैट इज बनारी अमन स्पिनिंग मिल्स लिमिटेड. टेक्सटाइल स्टोरी इज टर्निंग अराउंड. बनारी अमन is a part of Banari Amman Group company. This is totally integrated textile company. It is a one-stop solution from fiber to finished textile products. The focus of the management is on home textile, which is growing quickly. Company has a healthy balance sheet with no major capex plans. The company is trying to enhance the EBITDA margin going forward. Company is looking to become a debt-free entity in next 2 to 3 years. The company is undertaking fundraising drive to the extent of 26 crore. Recently, they have issued warrants on preferential basis at an issue price of 62 rupees per warrant. Promoter is raising money at almost the current market price, which shows his conviction in the business and in the company. This seems to be very positive about the company and the textile sector as a whole.
Banari Amman has also done very well in the market over the last about 6 months or so. Market capitalization of Banari Amman spinning mills is just 442 crore rupees, and it is almost trading at its book value, which is about 63-64 rupees, and as a stock that you can look at. कमिंग टू द फार्मा स्पेस, अनिल जी, यहाँ पर भी आपने पिछले 2-1 महीने में बहुत ही शानदार रिटर्न आते हुए देखे हैं. जो भी हम लोग बड़े या मंझले स्टॉक्स ट्रैक करते हैं, जैसे सिप्ला, जैसे सन फार्मा, लूपिन, औरोबिंदो फार्मा, यहाँ पर हमने बहुत अच्छे रिटर्न आते हुए देख लिए. क्या ये भी कोई ऐसा स्पेस है जहाँ पर आपको कोई अच्छा मिड कैप या स्मॉल कैप स्टॉक दिखता हो जो निवेशक अगले 1-2 साल या ज़्यादा अवधि के लिए रख सकते हो?
शेल जी, सेक्टर में, फार्मा सेक्टर में हमको एक कंपनी है एफडीसी लिमिटेड, वो काफी अच्छी लगती है. कंपनी हैज स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट फैसिलिटी. इट हैज गॉट अ स्ट्रॉन्ग मैनेजमेंट, वेरी गुड मैनेजमेंट. द कंपनी हैज strong domestic business with 80% contribution coming to its overall revenue. FDC has well-established legacy brands such as Electrol, Energel, Zippy. ये काफी popular, काफी acceptable brands है market में. The company is virtually debt-free, good dividend paying, has good cash ratio with healthy margins. शैल जी, यहाँ पर इस सेक्टर में, इस सेगमेंट में एक खास बात है जो मुझे एक स्टोरी के रूप में आपको बताता हूँ, एक छोटे से एग्जांपल के रूप में. मेरी ग्रैंड डॉटर है, वो 3 साल की है करीबन. जैसे कई बार उनको खाना खिलाना एक बहुत भारी चैलेंज होता है, मुश्किल होती है, बहुत पापड़ बेलने पड़ते हैं उसको कंसिडर करके खाना खिलाना. तो उस केस में हम लोग क्या करते हैं, उसको मोबाइल फोन दे देते हैं, कभी लैपटॉप दे देते हैं, भाई देख यहाँ, ताकि वो उसमें बिजी रह जाती है और हमारा भी काम हो जाता है, खाना खाती है. बट शैल जी, ये इस चीज को देखते हुए एक बात लग रही है कि आगे चल के इनकी आंखें कमजोर जरूर होगी आगे पीछे. ये मेरे घर की स्टोरी नहीं है, सब घरों की एक ही स्टोरी है, कॉमन है ये बच्चों में. तो इस चीज को देखते हुए एफडीसी इज वन ऑफ द की प्लेयर इन ऑप्थेल्मोलॉजी सेगमेंट, which is a good trigger for the growth of the company. FDC is long term, very good long term story. ये इसका यूएसपी लगता है हमको।
ओके, तो चलिए एफडीसी के बारे में भी थोड़ा और देखते हैं। एफडीसी में कई डेटा पॉइंट्स और रिसर्च पॉइंट्स तो अनिल जी ने हमारे साथ शेयर किए ही हैं। अगर हम देखें इस स्टॉक को, पिछले एक महीने में ये ऑलरेडी 27% चढ़ चुका है, तेज़ी में है। पिछले 6 महीने में इसने 41% तक का सर्ज ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्टर्स को दिया है। एक वन वे रैली देखने को मिलेगी अगर आप इसके चार्ट को देखेंगे, और एक साल में अब तक ये ऑलरेडी 60% चढ़ चुका है। तो लगातार आपने देखा है कि स्टॉक ने आपको तेज़ी में दिखाया, और अगर आप इसको और स्ट्रेच करेंगे पिछले 5 साल में भी, तो भी आपको ये स्टॉक दिखाएगा कि इसने ऑलमोस्ट 250% तक का सर्च ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्टर्स को दिया है पिछले 5 साल में। ज़्यादा जो वन वे रैली आई है इसमें साल 2023 के बाद से हमने देखी है, या फिर साल 2022 के अंत से हमने एक वन वे मूव एफडीसी में देखा है। तो ये लगातार आउट परफॉर्म भी करता हुआ हमें दिखा है। खास तौर पर इसकी जो मार्केट कैप है वो 9,735 क्रॉस की है, और साथ ही अगर आप देखेंगे तो ये इसका पीई 30.9 का है, और साथ ही साथ जो इसका ईपीएस है वो भी 18.7 का है। इंडस्ट्री के पीई के हिसाब से ये काफ़ी कंफर्टेबल है, क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री का पीई जो है वो 45.9 पर है, इसका प्राइस टू अर्निंग्स रेशियो 30.9 है। तो उस हिसाब से अगर हम देखेंगे तो ये भी अट्रैक्टिव वैल्यूएशंस पर नज़र आ रहा है फिलहाल पीयर के कंपैरिजन में भी। तो एक और उम्दा शेयर अनिल जी ने हमारे सभी दर्शकों के साथ शेयर किया है। अनिल जी, ये जब आप फार्मा क्षेत्र की बात करते हैं तो एक और बात आ जाती है, जो कंपनियां रॉ मटेरियल भी सप्लाई करती हैं फार्मा कंपनियों को, तो ऐसी कोई कंपनी जो कि आपके नज़र में हो जो रॉ मटेरियल स्पेस में हो। अक्सर ये बात हो रही है चाइना +1 की, और जिसमें ऑलरेडी रॉ मटेरियल्स में वो नंबर 1 कंट्री है। तो जब चाइना +1 की बात आ रही है और इंडिया इस चीज़ को काफ़ी ध्यान से देख रहा है, तो क्या यहाँ पर कोई अपॉर्चुनिटीज इमर्ज हो रही हैं?
इस सेक्टर में हमको एक जो पसंद आती है कंपनी, दैट इज एडवांस एंजाइम टेक्नोलॉजी लिमिटेड। कंपनी इज वन ऑफ द global leaders of manufacturing of enzymes and probiotics, as a good professional and a clean management team. Company is a niche player with niche products in human nutrition, animal nutrition, bioprocessing, and specialized manufacturing. Company has a high EBITDA business and has a good scope for margin expansion and return ratio improvement in near future. R&D is the backbone of the company with strong product pipeline. More or less, it is a debt-free company, dividend-paying company. Subsidiaries of the company can boost the profitability. It's good international footprint. 52% of the revenue of company comes from international sales. Hopefully, in the next 1,000 days, top line can be 1,000 crores and the stock price can also be 1,000 rupees per share. This is what we feel.
जी, एडवांस एंजाइम्स आपके सामने 536 रुपये के आसपास ट्रेड करता हुआ दिख रहा है। इसका बहुत ही रीसेंट आईपीओ आया था, और समझिए कि लगभग 6,000 करोड़ रुपए की इसकी मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन है, 4.4 प्राइस टू बुक रेशियो, और ये एक रिसेंटली लिस्टेड कंपनी है। 4 स्टॉक्स आपकी तरफ से अनिल जी हम लोग अपनी लिस्ट में ऐड करेंगे। भारत रसायन केमिकल स्पेस से एक बहुत ही छोटी स्मॉल कैप स्पिनिंग कंपनी जो कि टेक्सटाइल क्षेत्र में बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पर लिस्टेड है, बनारी अम्मन स्पिनिंग। साथ ही साथ एक जानी मानी फार्मा कंपनी एफडीसी जो कि इलेक्ट्रॉल बनाती है, और आखिर में एडवांस एंजाइम्स। अनिल जी, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। बस मैं ये जानना चाह रहा था कि जब आप ये ऐसी कुछ रिसर्च करते हैं तो 4 या 5 कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिन पर आप ध्यान रखते हैं कि कंपनी में होना चाहिए, मैनेजमेंट में होना चाहिए, सेक्टर में होना चाहिए, ताकि हमारे दर्शक जो बाज़ार में अभी अभी जुड़े हैं आपकी बहुत लंबे तजुर्बे से 2-4 अच्छी बातें सीख सकें?
हम रिसर्च जब करते हैं तो इन 4-5 चीजों पर अच्छे से ध्यान देते हैं। तो सबसे पहले मैनेजमेंट की क्वालिटी, कितने क्लीन है, कितने कंसिस्टेंट हैं, कितने कमिटेड हैं। सेकंड होता है प्रोडक्ट के मार्जिन्स कितने हैं वो देखते हैं, कितने टाइम से वो मार्केट में है। गुड बिजनेस, मतलब we believe in good and clean business. We look at long-term compounding story which has deep value and potential to multiply in long run. We pick companies which are in growth or turnaround phase. A good business ultimately reflects in the valuation. हम वो चीज देख के, and we believe in one-to-one management meeting सबसे important है, उसके बाद ही हम कोई रिसर्च रिपोर्ट निकालते हैं।
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Anil ji, for being with us on this very special show. Truly appreciate your time with us. In this time when a lot of our viewers and investors must be nervous as to what is happening in the markets, you've actually gotten this sense of calm and a composed voice in which you have explained to them what exactly should be the right frame of mind when you are actually dealing with the stock markets from a long-term view. Thank you so much for your experienced comments on the markets and various stocks that you have shared with us. Truly appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you both of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right, viewers. So there you have it, some long-term value picks you've got to hear from Anil ji. And now we have another very special guest to help you out with the markets and the prospectus right there. Mr. Hemant Kapadia, the Senior Vice President at Institutional Equities at KR Choksi, is now joining in. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Kapadia, and thank you so much for taking the time out. First up, how are you looking at the current setup in the markets, and which side of the coin are you really right now when we say the markets are probably staring at a deeper correction, or maybe the correction is done and dusted and we are poised for yet another rally, on the upside? What would you say?
A very good afternoon to you, Sakshi. Thank you for having me on the show. 24,800 should have broken. I'm saying that because a deeper correction would have made the markets more healthy, but that's more of wishful thinking. 24,800 didn't break. Now, because that didn't break, it came to 25,100, which shouldn't have been taken out. We've taken out that also, Sakshi. So honestly speaking, maybe we see 25,300 a bit next week, but I believe the setup has turned bullish again. See, it's a very simple thing, Sakshi. If the mid-cap, small-cap indices post fresh all-time highs, the market breadth improves. There's no way you can manage a 500 index or a 250 micro-cap index, So if the side is good, the AD line is good, advanced decline line, they're genuine buying. So SIPs or what? FIs have turned positive. The way I see it, things are fine. Deeper correction, not yet. 25,800 is one level I feel is very important. 24,800 would be make or break. I think 25,800 and 26,400 seems to be on the horizon till December, I believe, Sakshi.
Namaste Kapadia Sahab, Shail this side, and up north we have this wonderful Hindi idiom which says किसी को मुकम्मल जहाँ नहीं मिलता, कहीं ज़मीन तो कहीं आसमान नहीं मिलता, and that is absolutely falling true. Yes, we would like to buy stocks cheaper, but we hate to see markets correct, and such is the buying enthusiasm these days that it's very, very hard to even see a 4-5% correction last the week. बीच में ही आके लोग खरीद लेते हैं. Up now that you see 26,800, 25,800 on the charts, what are the one or two large cap index stocks which you feel will shoulder the responsibility of taking Nifty higher, and maybe some friendly mid cap names that you like good on the charts?
Firstly, two friendly mid cap names, I'll start with that. First one is Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail, ABFRL. That looks good. It's given a breakout yesterday of a consolidation phase. The mechanical indicators are supporting the move. Suppose a 55-day exponential moving average. So that is one pick. Second one is a dark horse. Perennial underperformer. I say perennial because last 5 or 6 years the stock has done nothing. But I believe that it's not yet about 210, it's at 207, but Bandhan Bank is something which looks technically very interesting. So above 210, ideally on the monthly chart, but I would say at least we start with the weekly chart. That gets taken out. I think the stock has a propensity to surprise big time. So I would say not much to lose. Stop loss is closer. Sky is the limit. So Bandhan Bank is the dark horse, a slightly risky one. ABFRL looks good. And coming to your main question, Shail, about which stock will shoulder the responsibility to take the Nifty to 25.8 and 26.4, I believe the Bajaj twins are doing the job. Reliance is one stock which I think is in the process of bottoming out. So my bet would be on Reliance. And a couple of, if I can take seconds more, couple of very interesting stocks have happened. Hindustan Unilever, index heavyweight, 4-year breakout. Asian Paints, 3.5 years. Okay, not index heavyweight sort of a thing. Will probably set for a breakout. SRF, 3 years, setting stage for a breakout. Bajaj Twins, 4 years, setting the stage for a breakout. HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, 3.5 years, setting the stage for a breakout. So all of these are going to do what they're going to do. Sure.
Okay. Mr. Kapadia, where do you think can we still, find value in the markets right now, despite having run up so much? Is there any key sector? Are there any key stocks where you still find that there is enough value left?
Okay, that is what is called a dusra in cricket parlance, Sakshi. That's a dangerous ball to face, looking for value at this point, but point taken. So I will sidestep your question and give you a stock which is technically cheap, undervalued. Bandhan Bank was one. And just a few stocks that I mentioned, Sakshi. Look at this. We are in a raging bull market. Okay, probably the biggest ever in our Indian stock market history. And all of the stocks that I mentioned just a few minutes back are all blue chips. And imagine, 4 years they have not participated or not posted new highs. HUL has, otherwise the other stocks haven't. So frankly speaking, raging bull market and 4 years, 3.5 to 4 years of consolidation of the Bajajes and the Asian Paints and the Kotaks and the HDFC that I talked about. So I believe they are technically cheap. Market has gone from where to where. Look at where the Bank Nifty has gone. And if these quality stocks haven't performed for 3.5, 4 years, when they start performing, Sakshi, I think all hell will break loose. And whatever targets I'm telling you, I'm not saying very near-term point of view. There are a lot of things happening, US elections, state elections, whatnot. But I think it also means that you have a lot of legs further after some correction. And okay, yeah, one more answer to your question. PSU banks have not performed much in the past few months. So technically and fundamentally both, I have a feeling that something like a PNB or a State Bank or a Can Bank, I think can and will surprise. Sakshi.
Right. Hemant, let's look at the other part of the market. The ECB, which no one was expecting, cut rates yesterday, and it sort of sent a warning shot across the bow to the US Federal Reserve that on 18th we are waiting. Let us see what you can do. We've done what we can. Now, given that the rate cycle will reverse in Wall Street and possibly in India also, because you've seen markets for 30-35 years, what are the sectors you think move better when rates are cut globally and locally?
See, I think, Shail, if you see, the Bank Nifty has not done much in the past few months compared to the Nifty. So obviously you'll have relief coming in terms of banks and also NBFCs. Some of the microfinance companies have been under pressure. So some of those companies would benefit. And frankly speaking, you have, like you said, a trickle-down effect. US cuts, we will cut. So, and yes, once again, sound like repetition, but Bajaj Finserv, the biggest NBFCs in the country, Shell, I mean, they are ready, right for pickings, honestly.
Okay. Hemant, the other space that I wanted to understand, is between asset classes. Why I'm asking this today is because gold has been on a record high spree internationally, and we've actually seen gold climbing 16% this year so far. So it's crossed the 15% gain of Sensex. It's yet to match up with Nifty. So between gold and Nifty or gold and markets, what do you think will be the outperforming asset class this year?
Gold has started its journey towards $2,800, Sakshi. So gold looks good, but you cannot compare I feel the returns of gold vis-a-vis a Nifty. And if you notice, gold moves every 7 to 8 years, Sakshi. So I think gold has done well, no doubt. And for the time it hasn't done, it has played catch up also. It has done wonderfully well. And yes, and I'm not saying gold is over. 28, my final target would be post 28. I'm looking somewhere closer to $3,000. So if you're saying it's going to be the best asset class this year, possible. But if it does, next year won't be so hunky dory. So I would, if I have a slightly longer term point of view, and yes, yeah, I would say you have 60% equity. I mean, you have 60% blue chips, 20% mid cap, and 15% small caps. You do 5% gold, 5% silver as your, SIP. So I'm not saying you leave gold out of the portfolio, but after such a beautiful move, and frankly speaking, Sakshi, this is going against traditional grain of thought. I mean, you can't have the wrong word. Normally, you wouldn't see gold and equities moving together up. I mean, that really is a dichotomy, so to speak, but that's happening. New market, new economy. I'd say even put 1% in Bitcoin for all you know. Some of uh, these cryptos who are actually doing work, who are actually helping payment interfaces. Somewhere, some value will come somewhere down the line. So once again, that's a high risk, but slightly off point. So I believe that gold has had a beautiful move, but if okay, this is sound one thing, wishful thinking. Correction hasn't come in the Nifty, but if and when it comes in, I'd back the Nifty all the way. And after gold has moved like this, I believe it will take a hiatus and once again go into hibernation for some time.
Ji. Hemant, let's look at the other part of the market. You pointed out Hindustan Unilever. Sakshi and I have been sort of going over the moon that it's come out of a 4-year hiatus, and it's the old world that we used to love. Cipla, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Divi's, all of them at record high. See, I've got you to smile as well. So, Pharma has been the star performer for the last 3 odd months. Is there still some technical bounce left, some juice left on the charts on maybe frontline or mid cap, small cap pharma, where 7, 8, 10-year charts have somehow become interesting for us to track over the next 18 months? Any names that you can suggest?
Okay, there is one stock, Biocon, which has not performed vis-a-vis the pharma index. So this stock is playing catch up, and I believe it will continue to play catch up. 410 is the level which I think is crucial. So this is something which I think will do well, and we are at 377 now, Shell. I'd stick my neck out and say 40% return in the next 18 months as far as Biocon is concerned. The only caveat, if any, the markets remain upbeat. If the markets tank, Biocon is not going to outperform, nothing will, or except maybe a Hindustan Unilever. So I'd say the markets remain hunky dory. Biocon will play catch up, will outperform and do well.
Okay, got it. Well, we will thank you, sir, on that note for being with us on this very special edition and sharing with us all this, fantastic insight into the markets, what exactly needs to be adhered to in this current setup as well. And we will have you back very soon on Business Today Television and on Market Today for sharing wonderful insights that you always do.
Thank you for having me.
And viewers, now we will also welcome Mr. Ruchit Jain, the lead research analyst at 5 Paisa, who's now with us. Warm welcome, Ruchit. Good to have you. Looking at the market setup now, a day after record high moves and slight consolidation after that. How are you looking at the setup and what goes next?
Yeah, very good afternoon, Sakshi. Very good afternoon, Shail sir. So definitely, I think the market moment was yesterday itself when we witnessed that breakout above the 25,150, and the follow-up moves were quite strong. Now today, if we look at the index, it is consolidating within a range, but the real indication is coming from the market breadth, the broader markets rather than the index itself. If you look at the advanced decline ratio, it's quite healthy. So when the broader markets remain such strong, so definitely it's no better to stay with the trend. So overall trend still for the market continues to remain positive. I think next week during midweek when we have that important international event of Fed policy, that will be the crucial point to see whether, since the markets have already run up before that event, whether we see any kind of profit booking post the event. But at least if one is looking from next 2 to 3 days perspective till that event, I think the trend or momentum would continue to remain positive. 25,500 is the first hurdle that we are watching for the Nifty. Once that, if that gets surpassed, then we could see 25,700 also coming.
Okay. Ruchit, how about, some of the stocks that you would be focused on right now?
So from the sectoral indices, the realty is one index where we are witnessing a fresh breakout after a long consolidation. We have seen last 3.5 months, the realty stocks have seen a good amount of sideways move. And today, some of the heavyweights such as DLF is there, Oberoi Realty, Godrej Properties, these names are no indicating a good price volume action. So this is one stock which, this is one sector which if one is looking from a short-term trading perspective, then can do well. Of course, my view is only for next 2 3 days till that big event which could come ahead. So Oberoi Realty, if one has to take fresh long exposure over here from next 2 to 3 days perspective, then could be bought at current levels with a stop loss below 1750 and expect target somewhere around 1870 to 1880.
Right. Namaste, Ruchit ji, and a very warm welcome to you, sir. It's always a pleasure to host you, especially at a time when markets are in super rocking mode. You just mentioned a very nice Nifty target of about 25,800 and also the possibility of 26,000 shaping up. Ruchit ji, which are the 2 or 3 strongest Nifty stocks on the charts which you think might play a significant role on the long side in this rally, sir?
So one sector that if one is looking only from index heavyweights, which could take the leadership to take the markets higher, I think would be banking, because one thing is that the sector has seen a significant underperformance. If you look at the all-time highs of Nifty, Nifty is right now around its new highs, but if you look at the all-time highs of Bank Nifty, then they were formed on 4th of July, right, which were around 53,350. So this sector, this index has gone through a decent consolidation phase. So in case if we see, and we have already seen a breakout yesterday in the Bank Nifty as well. So I think a follow-up move could be seen in the banking space where that catch-up move would happen. So ICICI Bank within the sector, if we see it's trading around its all-time high level, the previous swing high breakout is around 1260, quite close to that level right now. So if we see a move about 1260, that in ICICI Bank would be one stock within the index heavyweights, which I think could take leadership going ahead. And we have already seen a good move in the IT name. So no doubt that the broader trend for IT remains positive, and still there's some room left within the IT names itself. TCS, if you look within the within the heavyweights, I think the stock has seen consolidation of about last 15-20 trading sessions. Good thing is that the midterm supports of around 4400 is intact in this consolidation, which has not been breached. So I think TCS would be another IT heavyweight which could lead the markets higher.
Okay. Let's also understand from you how are you looking at the sharp bout of momentum that we are looking at the gold and the gold financing companies as well, commodity space, precious metals. Are you looking at this space interestingly also, Ruchit? We are seeing some stocks even at circuits of 20% higher today, and the entire space has been abuzz with gains from the last 2-3 weeks almost.
Yes, definitely. I think the way gold prices have also increased in yesterday's trading session. I think gold finance companies are there. They could do well in the near term. Even the jewelry stocks are doing well, but the only thing is that they have already run up since last couple of months. So the risk reward ratio for fresh buying is not that favorable because the stop losses are coming too far. So I won't advise fresh buying in those stocks, where the run up has already been done. But yes, if any existing positions are long positions are there formed at lower levels, then they can continue to ride this trend. And the gold finance companies, I think, can do well in the near term. Stocks such as Manappuram Finance, which has also seen a decent correction over last few weeks. So I think that's where the stock is trading around its 100 DMA support, and 200, 195 is a strong support range where in the first week of August, the stock did not break that level. Even in the recent correction, day before yesterday, low was around 200 itself. So till this 200, 195 is intact, I think Manappuram Finance also looks poised for a good move on the higher side.
And that's an interesting thought that you mentioned on the financing arm of the gold business. Anything in the jeweler space, Ruchitji? Titan in the green, Senco Gold, I was just seeing very high volumes on this one. There is a 20% circuit on TBZ, that's Tribhuvandas Javeri, 304 crores. I can't remember when was this kind of a volume on TBZ. Also look at how Kalyan Jewelers is the second most active counter in trade as far as NSE 500 is concerned. Any particular stock in the gold business that catches your fancy?
So most of the mid-cap names have already rallied. If you look at PC Jewelers in this month itself, it's up by 27%. Then other stocks also have seen a good up move. So I think the stop losses for fresh buying is not that favorable in these mid-cap jeweler names. So yes, TBZ in fact is up by 60% in this month itself. In the last 10, 12 days, the stock has rallied by about 60 odd percent. So I think if any existing long positions are there, then good for them. But if you buy fresh over here and look for stop losses, then they would be very deep. So that's why I'm not suggesting any fresh recommendations in this segment. Titan within the large cap, I think this is one stock where we could see further upside, but it's a slow mover. Of course, you cannot expect the kind of moves that we see in TBZ, Senco Gold, PC Jewelers, that kind of move in a Titan, this being a heavyweight stock. But yes, if one is looking for a relative, safer, then a slow and gradual up move could be seen. Again, the stock could rally towards previous highs of 3850, 3900, that can be seen. So relatively, Titan looks good. Other stocks are still in an uptrend, but no, there are no stop losses which would determine a good risk reward ratio in the mid cap names.
Okay. Let's also discuss the real estate space with you, Ruchitji. There's been a sharp rally today after a long haul. These stocks are making a comeback, especially stocks like DLF, that's rallying about 3.3%. We have mid-cap names like Sobha, Macrotech, Oberoi Realty, Godrej Properties, Mahindra Life, all of them are buzz with gains. Is this rally here to stay?
At least in the short term, yes, we could see some short term up move in the realty names, because even if you see since the month of June, in mid June, the Nifty Realty Index formed its previous all time high, and then it has been into a long consolidation phase. Now the momentum has again started coming in the names which you just mentioned. So I think there could be some short term up move. Over Realty and DLF, these are two stocks where on the charts the structures are quite positive. So if one is looking from a trading perspective, then yes, DLF and Uber Realty, these are two stocks where one can expect a good move, and hence one can initiate fresh longs there.
Okay. Apart from the real estate space, let's also look at the PSU banking story that's been doing very well today, 1.2% higher in trade for the PSU banks as well. We do know that this space has been a laggard in the previous series, and it's been very volatile in the first half of September too. But what do you make of the strong move and the comeback of stocks like Bank of Maharashtra today, that's up 4%, Indian Overseas Bank another 3.5% surge, Punjab and Sindh Bank, Can Bank, PNB, UCO Bank, they're all upwards of 2% higher in trade. Does it indicate a fresh move that could be underway for these PSU banks?
So I think it's too early to say that today's up move is a resumption of a larger degree uptrend in the stocks. But the momentum readings were quite oversold post the recent underperformance. If you look at post that election results day outcome, most of the sectors have formed a new record highs and have rallied higher. But PSU banks have not participated since then. And in fact, the stock index, the Nifty PSU Bank Index, had recently also breached that election day results low, which very few other indices or stocks have broken. So it's in an oversold zone. So such oversold setups generally leads to some pullback move, and hence we are reading this as a pullback move as of now. But yes, going ahead, in case if we see this up move getting sustained or high top high bottom structure getting started, then I think one should look to participate in the PSU banking name. But for now, take this as a pullback move because of oversold setups.
Private banks now, there are several
Right.
stocks that are making a sharp comeback, like Bandhan Bank, IndusInd Bank. Look at the kind of moves that we have today, over 5% gains for Bandhan. IndusInd also making a comeback. Yesterday it was ICICI, Axis, HDFC also supporting the sentiments. What are your favorite stocks here?
So yes, I agreed that private sector banks I think could do better than the PSU names within the banking sector, because the kind of price volume action has been happening recently in the private sector banks. Here it seems that the downside would be limited. Bandhan Bank, if you look at recent activity, then after the results, when the quarterly results were announced, the stock had rallied sharply in just 2 days from 185 to almost 220 kind of level. Then the banking index itself, or the entire banking sector itself, went into a consolidation phase. So Bandhan Bank also has seen some consolidation post that. But the kind of volumes that were seen after the results when the stock went up, that kind of volumes are missing when the price is correction. So stock going up with good volumes, correcting with low volumes, I think that's a broader picture where it indicates that the downside seems to be very limited in such stocks. So Bandhan Bank is still looking good. 185, 190 now is a very strong support base. If that remains intact, then we could see next leg of up move getting started, what we have seen in today's trading session. Even IndusInd Bank is on the verge of a breakout from a falling wedge kind of pattern, which it has recently formed in its underperformance. So follow-up move, I think next week would be important. So early next week, if we see a follow-up move above that 1475, 1480 mark, then IndusInd Bank can rally towards 1550 in the near term.
Right. Ruchiji, one of the hallmarks of the present rally has been the wonderful gains that investors have made in all kinds of pharma stocks. Would you have a favorite mid-cap pharma stock which you still believe have a lot of potential on the upside?
So yes, the pharma entire index, if you look at last 3 or 4 months, it's quite robust, and still there are no signs of any kind of trend reversal. So I think that trend is likely to continue going ahead. So pharma index certainly looks positive. From a bit mid-term perspective, it can still do well. Biocon, I think within the sector, if we look at the stock, then this is still looking good if one is looking for fresh entry over here. It has seen a relative underperformance compared to other pharma names if you look at a bit longer term charts, but of late the stock has now started forming that high top high bottom structure, which is usually considered very good. So in any kind of declines, 350 360 I think would now be seen as a very strong support range, considering that the monthly charts have also turned positive recently. I think if one has a bit positional perspective, next 4 to 6 months perspective one is looking, then this stock has potential to rally toward its previous high of which was around 480 to 500 range. So Biocon looks positive, where one can initiate fresh longs at current levels, and any dip if it comes towards that 350 340 support range, take that as an opportunity to add more to the portfolio.
Okay. Ruchit, another space that I wanted to take your view on is the new age internet space. What are you really liking at this point in time, technically speaking, purely? We've been seeing a lot of fundamental calls, brokerage news updates on stocks like Zomato, but there's also been a lot of price action in several other stocks like a Nika or maybe Honasa Consumer, PB Fintech, or other such stocks too. Where do you think you will look for technical, looking at the parameters right now for gains going forward?
So two stocks I believe that within this new age technology stocks that can really do well if one is looking from a bit mid-term perspective. One is Nika, where price action, if you look at recently when the stock rallied from 180 to 230, the volumes are quite high, and the stock has already gone through a corrective phase post the listing, right? So I think here the price wise corrective phase has been done. Now any dip if comes, then 185, 195, this would be a very crucial support zone from where no fresh buying interest would emerge. And we have seen recently also that 185, 190 has attracted a lot of new buying in the stock. So here I think the downside seems to be limited now. So if one is looking from positional perspective, then Nykaa is one stock which could be bought. Second one is Policy Bazaar. The PB FinTech, this stock also has been gradually rallying with a high top, high bottom structure. Still no signs of reversal. So I think here also, but the only thing is that the support is a bit far. So buy and dip strategy would be recommended for Policy Bazaar. In fact, in case if we get any dips towards 1600 marks, so that around 1600 to 1500 range, I think has now become a good support base for the stock. So if we get any dip towards that support range, then this also would occur well under for fresh buying.
322, just the right time to take BTST, STBT trades from you, Ruchit. What would you suggest?
So I'll stick with the realty itself. So because the overall realty sector, I think in Monday's trading session also could do good. Overall realty has given a breakout no, from falling trend line today. So overall realty is one stock which one can look at from a fresh long perspective that can be bought over here. And we can expect levels around 1800 and 1880 kind of levels in Oberoi Realty. So this name can be bought. One can keep a stop loss below 1770 on fresh long positions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the fag end of the market. What has been an excellent week. Again, on the weekly charts, as far as the Nifty is concerned, we will have a positive close, and not only will the close be positive, we will again restart the process of making higher highs and higher lows in the weekly segment. So frankly, 25,360 is now with the bulls, and that's a very positive development as far as markets are concerned. It took the IPOs in the primary markets to sort of flush out the bears, and the huge listing of Bajaj Housing is on its way, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and that will again provide further impetus to what has already been a fantastic September, and we still have half the month. Next week we will also be focusing on the interest rate cut that is expected on Wall Street on Wednesday, probably 25 basis points. The 25 basis points rate cut that came yesterday on the ECB sort of fired up the Nifty. We are hoping for a similar firework on Wednesday, and it's the Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv that held sway on traders and investors over the last 10 sessions. They closed Friday with very strong gains. You see Bajaj Finserv trading at 2.4% higher, fresh record high, 1900 rupees in futures, as also Bajaj Finance. After many months, Bajaj Finance has fired up, closing 7,605, 2.2% higher. Among these two twins, Ruchit, any one stock or both? What are the charts telling you? And another question, did you get the allotment of Bajaj Housing?
So I applied two applications, one in my account and one in my wife's account. So I got allotment in my wife's account, but unfortunately it's not my account. Okay, now coming on to the stocks of Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv. So no doubt these stocks have come out from a long consolidation phase. If you look at some positional chart, then the stocks were into a consolidation since October 2021. And in last 1.5 years, when the markets have seen a significant run up, there was no participation from these names. But of late, a good buying interest has been seen in both the stocks. So I think this is a breakout from a long-term consolidation phase. Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, both have very good structures. In fact, Bajaj Finance today has given a breakout from a bullish flag pattern as well. So I think both these names could do well going ahead.
Okay.
I have always believed, Ruchit, that women investors make better decisions and make far more money than all the men traders and quant specialists and how should I say, fund managers put together. So my suggestion is, before you make a call on the technical part of the market, you should check with your wife. ये वाला trade बता दूं क्या? And then maybe you will have a better success ratio than what you have enjoyed. But congratulations to her. Now tell me the most important thing. What is the price that Bajaj Housing is listing at?
Well, it's a difficult question. What would be the price? But certainly, what are the intentions? Then intention is not to sell in the listing. I think the kind of these are very rare IPOs which come, which has potential to create mid to long term wealth for you. So I think rather than looking at the short term gains on listing day profit booking, I would suggest no. In fact, I would prefer to hold on these such stocks for a bit mid to long term perspective.
Okay, got it. And there are some outperformers as well, which I'll just mark before wrapping up the trade today. In the NSE 500 basket, there are a whole host of names that are in double-digit gains. Jubilant Life, that's up 13% in trade. A sharp move has been seen. Godfrey Phillips is outperforming to 11% higher in trade. IFL Finance, another 8.5% of a surge coming in. Linde India, about 8.5% of a move. That's also coming in on this stock as well. Let's also see IDBI Bank. I think Shell already highlighted, that's also 8% higher. You also have Home First Finance, that's up 7%. You have Westlife Developers, that's also up 6.5%. These are the star performers within the within the Nifty 500 basket as well. Anything that strikes your attention, Ruchit, where you will want to carry on the trade for momentum?
From the momentum perspective, I think if we look at the large cap stocks, then ICICI Bank I would prefer. If one is looking for carrying trade for next 2 or 3 trading sessions, the stock is on the verge of that breakout, and if we get a breakout above that 1460 kind of levels, then we could see some good move on the higher side.
Got it. Well, thank you so much, Ruchit, for being with us on this show and sharing these wonderful ideas like you always do. And yet again, congratulations on the IPO allotment. We'll be joining you probably and seeing you when the stock also lists, so that we can discuss it further going forward. Okay, viewers, it's time to wrap up the markets now. It's a Friday that spanned out quiet and peaceful at this point, but of course right after yesterday's big bang move on the markets, a 40 point of a correction is not very unwelcome. It's okay. 25,350 and thereabouts is where you see the Nifty at. The Nifty Bank is holding up about 0.3% in trade at 51,913. Despite this about 0.2% of a loss on the Nifty, we are closing the week on a positive note for sure. Let's also look at some of the top movers as far as sectors are concerned. Realty, media, PSU banks, consumer durables, metals, broader markets clearly in the winning zone today. Stocks like WIPRO, Bajaj Finserv Finance, we have IndusInd Bank, Axis Bank, Tata Steel as the top performers on the Nifty, the outperformers on that front. Adani Ports declined, ITC fell about over %, Coal India dragged, Tata Consumer Products and HDFC Life and SBI Life were also top drags. Bandhan Bank, Oracle Financial Services, Piramal Enterprises, WIPRO, these were the outperformers also in the F&O space along with DLF, PVR, Inox and City Union Bank. Whereas on the downside, if you see, we did have Balrampur Chini Mills, Granules, Petronet LNG, Godrej Consumer, some such products that actually, some such stocks that actually declined in trade today. So there you have it. The screen has frozen 25,344, a 44.9 point kind of a dip right here. Anything else, Shell, that you want to add before we wind up?
Yes, actually, I am hoping to buy another seat belt for my chair for Wednesday, and let us see what happens. That's the day that we've been waiting for, for 3-4 years now, that US will cut rates, and again the cycle of expansion will start, and we'll have a nice blowout on the Nasdaq. With those very happy thoughts, Sakshi and I leave you with a record close on the Nifty, ladies and gentlemen. and something to sort of chew on over the weekend, and maybe find a list of good stocks for you. You got 5 today, 4 from Mr. Anil Gager, which is Bharat Rasayan, then FDC, which is a pharma company, followed by Banari Amman Spinning Mills, which is listed on the BSE, and of course the last one was Advanced Enzyme, and of course our very good friend Vineet Bojlinkar mentioned HFCL. So regularly we'll be coming up with these mid-cap suggestions for you to make an excellent portfolio even at a time when the markets are at a record high. So please keep on watching Business Today Television. It's the most exciting place to be.
Of course, one key question is about the relationship between India and China. We have seen difficult moments in the Himalaya on the border. We see a kind of competition in the Indian Ocean. How would you describe the relationship between China and India?
I'll need a lot of adjectives. I mean, it's definitely a very complex relationship because if you look at it, you know, these are two civilizational states. They have a long history. They are also states who, at various points of time,